Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the very last in the episode of 8 episodes for conscious communications and the practice of no judgment, just love. I am ShaRon Rea, your host, and I've been here with you for 8 marvelous opportunities to share how to communicate with more awareness and more consciousness. So here we are at the last one. I want to first thank everyone for tuning in and giving me your comments that are positive and encouraging, and also for watching on the replay, even if you couldn't make it here when we're live. So they are available on the YouTube channel, and there's a link in the Facebook page and in the YouTube. So welcome. Today is episode number 8. And I'm in a different place because we are talking about comfy couch conversations. And comfy couch conversations is a term that I have designed to help people feel comfortable as they are having conversations. As you see, I'm on the original comfy couch. It's full of very comfy pillows and it's bouncy, and when you sit on it, this is where I coach from. I also have had the opportunity to hear from my clients how they love to snuggle up in this comfy couch and really share what's on their mind, give me all of the things that are their pains and their concerns, but also feel comfortable to share their joys. So this show is sponsored and supported in a comfortable way by Enlightened World Network, and I want to thank them for the opportunity and the time. I am ShaRon Rea, a family, relationship, and communication coach. And in that job, I get to help clients uncover how they communicate with each other, feeling comfortable to have those difficult conversations. I'm also the founder of No Judgment, Just Love. It is a global movement where we are inspiring people to live together with unconditional allowance, one conversation at a time. And so today I'm going to have, as we always do, a topic and 3 points for you to consider. And then I'll end with some quotes and very sincere thank yous again. So I'm inviting you to the comfy couch of no judgment, just love. Now, what is a comfy couch? The comfy couch is a place where you can relax and be free with no judgment, knowing that your words, what you have to say, is going to be heard without question. It gives us the opportunity to sincerely do a number of things, to uncover what's important for us to uncover, to explore different ideas, different ways we speak or we think about our world, to express our feelings with full confidence that whomever that person that's providing the comfy couch for us will really listen and not judge. It's also maybe to confirm some things. If you are a parent of teenagers, which is one of the groups that I work with, often your teens benefit from just hearing themselves talk about their ideas without us parents interrupting or having an opinion or leading them off to a different place. So it's sometimes just confirming that what's in your mind or what's in your heart, you get to say out loud in front of someone else. And then it gives you an opportunity, especially to release those pains and anger and frustrations that you may have. So a comfy couch conversation, if you wrap it up in a nice little box, it includes privacy. So it's very difficult to have a comfy couch conversation with lots of people all at once. It can be done, but everyone needs to agree to some certain parameters. It also includes being safe, creating that space where both parties are safe to listen and safe to be heard. And then that gives the opportunity to be brave, to be vulnerable, to really talk about what's true for you. But you can only do that when you trust the person that you're speaking with. Now, I want to give a little caveat here. A comfy couch conversation does not just have to be with 2 people. you can have a comfy couch conversation with yourself. Sometimes we have feelings or thoughts that we really don't want to have. They cause us to judge ourselves, or we'd really like to overcome that thought that we've had. So you can have a comfy couch conversation right inside your head. Just imagine the two of you and you, sitting on a comfy couch, and one of you is listening and one of you is speaking. And thereby you can really uncover what's true for you. And so, oh, pardon me, somebody's calling, but I cannot answer. And then the last thing is to have compassion, not only for yourself, but for others. There we go. Stop that ringing. But no judgment. I'll have to speak to that person later. So the result is, again, you get to exhale. You get to exhale because you're now being heard. Now, some reasons to not have a comfy couch conversation are if you're really not ready, you want to keep that other person away. You're not willing to share what's fully in your heart. Or you're afraid to have this comfy couch conversation because you might lose something, or you might feel rejected. You might lose a relationship. Someone may be angry that you're sharing your innermost thoughts, and they may decide to step away from you, and that's okay. With a comfy couch conversation, as we're going to talk through the next step, is to prepare yourself to have it. Also, some of the things that may prohibit you from having a comfy couch conversation are you perceive that the outcome is going to be something that you're not ready for. So that's why you want to plan ahead and really give yourself permission to know whether or not you want to or you're ready to have this conversation with a person. So now let's get into the steps of how to actually do this, how to have a comfy couch conversation. And the first thing I want to share with you is that I have had the opportunity to experiment with this concept with two different groups recently. One with a spiritual group, this Enlightened Network group. They have such beautiful hosts for a variety of different shows. And they invited me on as a guest as our country was in the throes initially of the conversations about racial injustice after Mr. Floyd passed away. And so what we did, because we're in this COVID-19 situation, we created a virtual comfy couch. A virtual comfy couch is on Zoom, just like this, because we can't be together. So we had probably anywhere from 5 to 8 people in this Zoom link conversation. And what we did was we had some guidelines because everyone can't talk at the same time. And what we discovered was it's beneficial when you're trying to decide something or explore any kind of feelings you may have about racial injustice to just talk. Remember, I talked about the teenagers, they just need to talk and let these thoughts and feelings and history come up. And so what we did was we all agreed that when one person was speaking and only one person at a time, we all muted ourselves. You can do that in person where you just don't talk, or mute yourself on a Zoom call. And then that person had the freedom to talk about whatever they wanted, however they wanted, uninterrupted, unchallenged, and so that they can really uncover what's in front and behind their thoughts. Have you ever had a chance to be in a group, especially us women, to just finish your thought without being interrupted, without someone saying, oh yeah, I know that, oh yes, I understand, or my story, and then now you've lost your conversation, we're on to someone else. Well, it's very valuable to just listen. Listen with conscious awareness that this person that's speaking is being extremely vulnerable. They're sharing something that they may have never shared with anyone, and you're giving them that beautiful opportunity to do that. So the first thing you want to do when you're creating, after you recognize those things that we did virtually, is to check your own look in the mirror. Really discover where your biases are. What kind of conversation are you having? Do you have a judgment about this? So that when you listen to this person with quiet and reverence, you can put your judgments aside and allow that person to say what they need to say. You may have some triggers. Remember, in one of our past episodes, we talked about emotional triggers. Some of the things that they may say may trigger you, but you're willing to allow that trigger to just rest for the moment and not give that person your opinion or your reaction to what they said. So the next thing to do is to figure out ahead of time what the purpose of this conversation is. What are you doing? Do you want to have an exploration? Do you want to inform someone about something? That's a very tender thing to do, especially if it's a friend, a spouse, a coworker. You want to have kindness and compassion in your words. That's what the comfy couch provides for you, an opportunity to feel comfortable so you can truly express yourself. And then you want to figure out, what is it you want to say? What do you want them to know? And if there's something for them to do that you're asking, be specific with that. But at the end of the conversation, the most important thing is, how do you want the person to feel? Do you want them to feel respected? Do you want them to feel honored? Do you want them to feel heard? Because that's so important. We all have needs. We all want to be acknowledged that we exist and that we matter. And these comfy couch opportunities underscore that. So here are 5 steps. Once you've done all that pre-work, here are the 5 steps to engage in this conversation. And the first thing is to be curious. Make it an inquiry in your mind as this other person is speaking. Or if you're speaking, you just want to be curious about what you're saying. Really listen to your words. Really hear what the concepts are that are coming up for you. If it's the other person, you want to release those judgments, release those opinions, and just really be curious about what they're saying and not what they're saying. Everything behind the words. And then the next thing is to acknowledge that they have been heard. And you can do that very easily without words. You can just nod, not all the time, but just nod. Giving an acknowledgement is a yes. And try not to speak too much while you're engaged in listening to the other person. The next thing is to stay engaged. If you're now having a conversation rather than just a listening opportunity, you want to stay engaged. Even if something is upsetting or frustrating, remember the importance of a pause. A pause gives you the opportunity to relax and decide how you want to respond or if you want to respond. So try and stay engaged, because if you're having this comfy couch, it is conversation. It is valuable, hopefully, for both of you, or at least one of you. So you want to be able to give it its full opportunity to follow through to the end. And then if there's an opportunity to ask them to do something and problem solve, remember from episodes before about I statements. I would like you. This is what so you're not creating any barrier in this comfortable conversation that may be a little bit uncomfortable. And then the last thing to do is recognize when the conversation has ended. And that may be before you get what you want. There may be an unwillingness from the other person to just stop or walk away. In the comfy couch space, we don't follow them. We don't try and engage them when they're done, or the same respect is given to you. If this conversation isn't going how you like, if you've done with what you've wanted to say, but they're still communicating, you have permission to say, we're done right now. So I give you 2 quick examples personally of 2 comfy couch conversations in my life. One was when one of my children really was not doing what I needed them to do as we were living together. It was very frustrating because they were adult children and they had the opportunity, we did, to create some guidelines and rules about how we were going to live together. And this sweet child of mine was just disregarding it every day, all the time. And it became very frustrating to me. I had anxiety every time I saw her, every time I realized the house is a mess or the food wasn't put back where it belonged. And so I was very nervous to have this comfy couch conversation with her, because I had to gather my courage to tell the truth of how I felt, knowing possibly that I was trying to inform, but I was also wanting to influence her behavior so that we can continue to live in a peaceful environment. Well, I had the conversation, I gathered up my courage to have it, and it didn't go the way I wanted. But I was actively listening to her responses to what I was saying. And what I realized was this was not in her space right now to accommodate living with me the way I needed us to live. So again, I gathered my courage and I asked for what I needed, which was either accommodate and change, or we have to not live together. That was difficult. That was a difficult, comfy conversation. And I know that you may have those in your life as well. It may be about race. It may be with your children. It may be anything that's uncomfortable. So I encourage you, if you want to have a comfy couch conversation, call on me. Let me help you, because that's number 3. One of the free gifts, the complimentary gifts that I'm offering to anyone who's listening to this show. In this time of COVID-19, in this time of very difficult emotional, financial, physical places that our families are having an experience, I want to offer my time. I want to offer my expertise. And so please contact me and you will receive a free conversation for however 30 minutes, 40 minutes, even up to an hour. I want to give. This is a time to give. So if you are having struggles, if you'd like to have a very uncomfortable or difficult conversation with someone and you want to kind of practice before you do, please call on me. You can reach me on my email, which is ShaRon@NoJudgmentJustLove.world. Excuse me, I'm going to say it again. ShaRon@NJJL.world. ShaRon@NJJL.world. I look forward to hearing from you. Now, here's a big announcement. I have a new product coming. You may know that I have a No Judgment, Just Love coloring book that I released 2 years ago. It's for children and it's written in the style of Dr. Seuss to help them uncover where judgments might exist, where they can be more comfortable living in their environment. So I want to offer the same thing now for us adults. I'm creating a No Judgment, Just Love journal, and it should be ready to be a companion to the coloring book right around September or October. So look out for that announcement. Thank you so much, and let me leave you with 2 wonderful quotes, one from Brene Brown and one from No Judgment, Just Love. In order to empathize with someone's experience, you must be willing to believe them as they see it and not how you imagine their experience to be. That's a basis and a foundation for a comfy couch conversation. And No Judgment, Just Love says, a comfy couch conversation happens when you can participate in this conversation honoring and in harmony with your values and what you believe, and at the same time doing no harm to the other person. Thank you so much for being with me with all 8 of these episodes of Conscious Communication and the Practice of No Judgment, Just Love. I look forward to more times when we can be together, but in the meantime, stay safe, enjoy your week, and always use the practice of No Judgment, Just Love so you can make every word count. Thank you.